if I was starting this house again today, I will do so many things differently. Not because that I failed, but it's because that I learned some things the hard way. So welcome again to another video. As you can see, I'm coming from my unfinished house. If you are following the journey, thank you so much. You have given support and you have showed me so much love. And today I've decided to share some of the things that I would do differently if I wanted to build this house today. I know the house is not yet done, but I've already done some lessons. So I want to help people who want to build and maybe someone who will want to start building or is in the journey of the building, and to encourage you all to that you can do it, and nothing can stop you if you want to do it. So I have some notes over here. If you see me looking at the side, I've noted down some points so that I cannot miss the important points that I want to share with you today. And hope this video will be enjoyable. So to start with, things I will do differently today. I would research everything before buying. The first mistake that I did was not researching everything I needed to buy before buying. Why? Because prices change, and that first thing. And if, for example, you go to a hardware to buy nails, you will find that nails vary depending on the hardware that you buy. For example, I bought nails from 3 different hardwares, and the reason why I bought from 3 different hardware is because the first hardware was expensive, but I never knew that. So what happened, I bought the nails, and then the nails were over. I wanted to buy others, so I sent a delivery guy. He went to another hardware, it was more expensive, and then he went to another hardware, and then he found that the nails are even cheaper than the first hardware that I had bought the nails. So first thing is price varying and changing. So that's the thing I'll do first, research about everything I'm buying. Another thing is material quality. This one hit me hard because the material quality is very important. First mistake I did was buying these building blocks, Ndarugo. So I bought Ndarugo from Thika. I think I should show you. I bought Ndarugo from Thika, and let me show you how these Ndarugos look like. So what happened is I bought these first Ndarugos in Thika, and then there is this second batch of Ndarugos, and then there is that brown Ndarugo over there. You can see almost to the iron sheet there is a brown Ndarugo. So let me tell you the stories about Ndarugos. So because I did not check the material quality of the Ndarugo, the first Ndarugos that I bought from Thika, I thought they were real Ndarugo from Ndarugo. Those people who know that Ndarugo from Thika are different from the Ndarugo from Ndarugo itself, the place called Ndarugo. So when I brought the materials, I bought the first ones without consulting my fundi. And the first Ndarugo, sorry to say, they were not the best. They used to break, so I had to add more because they are of the breakage. The quality was not good, and then the fundi advised I take the ones from Ndarugo, so that the difference, you can see the difference between the Ndarugos, even the color, but the rest are at least better. They were from Ndarugo itself, even the brown ones. But I came to understand that the brown ones were more harder even than these ones. So please, if you are planning to build, make sure you check the quality of the materials that you are building. You can liaise with your fundi so that they can tell you the materials, and do the research for yourself. This point is about doing the research of the materials you are doing with. So the next thing is asking people already building. Okay, what happened is I was building the same time with my cousin, so I was asking some things about where he bought these, what favored him, what he finds better. So I used to ask a lot of questions, and they used to help me. And now that my house is the structure is already up, I feel good that I consulted with him, and also consulted with other people who are building, so that you can know some things, the best thing to use, where to find some things. When you're starting building, it's very hard to find everything in the same place, so you can consult with people who are building, or people who have already built, like even your parents. I know most of our parents have built houses. You can consult with them. How is this one done? How is this one done? Because consulting is very important. In my case, an example I'll give is using the DPC and the DPM. Some people don't use DPC and DPM. That's the paper, the black paper that people put on the ground after the foundation. People don't use it. But after consulting for quite a bit, I even visited houses that have not used the paper. I decided to use it because of the water seepage. So it's good you consult with people who have built to see the challenges they are facing when doing some things and when emitting some things. So another thing is comparing suppliers. Yeah, you should compare suppliers, the people who are supplying you with materials. In this case, applies to the materials you are buying. As I said, my supplier for the first Ndarugu was not the best, so I opted to change, and I already wasted money because those Ndarugos had a lot of breakage. The first trip, almost 10 to 15 Ndarugos broke. I had to replace those ones because what else do I do? So make sure you compare your suppliers. So I'm done with the research everything before buying point. That point was research everything before buying. So my next point is I would buy some materials earlier. Yes, I know most of you will come to me and say, no, the materials will do what? But materials that I would buy early is sand and stones, and ballast, anything that will not get spoiled. But I would not recommend you buy cement. You can buy just a little, because when cement stays for a long time, it hardens and you don't know the period things happen. You can buy material and then a thing happen, you realize you will not start building immediately. So cement can wait when you are already sure that you buy. Now that comes with challenges. If you are building somewhere that is not secure, your materials might be stolen. So I would advise buy materials early. You can even fence the place you are building, or even make a small structure, the mabati structure, the site houses that people use, so that you can buy your material. And that makes you even more flexible and relieve the pressure of buying everything at once. Because for me, that was the biggest mistake I made. I was buying materials as the construction was undergoing. So that nikimwaga building blocks, the building was already. When I was buying ballast, the food was asking for ballast because they want to use ballast. But I already knew the quantity, but I had not bought. So I would advise, if you can buy materials early, start buying, even if it's a small amount of material, like half of what is required. You can start buying your materials. So another thing is storage challenges. That comes with the site house that I'm talking about. You can build the site so that your materials can be secure and all that. So another thing is waiting can cost more. Yes, waiting to buy materials can cost more. Case in point, when I was starting building, the one Tata FSR of sand used to cost 18,000. Yes, but when the house was almost halfly done, I used to buy sand at 21,000. So the sand had gone up with 3k, and buying a FSR of sand is not cheap. So you can start buying when the materials are cheap. You buy when they are cheap, and then as you proceed, you will have little pressure to having more pressure when buying things as the construction is ongoing. So that's my second point. You buy materials early. So my third point is plan basic living areas first. By planning basic living areas first, the reason why this point is here, it's because of people who want to live in the unfinished house. I already made a video that I'm living in my unfinished house, but there are things I did not account for. What did I not account for? I did not account for a sink. Most of you have made a video how I'm washing my utensils outside with basins, bending over the kienyeji way. It's not a bad way, but I was used to using sinks, so it's a bit of a change that disturbed me for a moment, but I come and everything is okay now. So you have to think about that. Water points. My tap is so far away. Most of you have seen me, I'm using pipe every time, because where the tap is located, it's near the main house, but I'm not living in the main house, so I have to use pipes every time. So I had to buy a pipe. That's another thing. Then storage, where you store your things. Like now my things are in this house, and you've seen it's so dusty, so you have to account for that. Please account for storage. So another thing is you accept slow progress. Most people, when they start building, they want to build the structure is up, the finishes are done, you want to enter your house when it's all done, but that might not be the case every time. So you can start preparing yourself psychologically. This might be slower than I thought. Things might change. I might need to stay in the house before it's finished. So prepare yourself that you accept slow progress, because things change, and you may find yourself living in the unfinished house. So that's another thing I would do differently, but it is what it is, and I'm in my unfinished house, and I know it will be over. So I would budget for life, not just for construction. Yes, when people are building, they budget for the constructions alone, what you need, stone, cement, whatever needed in the construction site. But what you fail to budget for is budgeting for life. What do I mean by budgeting for life? We have food that you'll be eating when building. You find yourself, you have spent so much money when building, and back at home now you have no money maybe to buy food and other basic needs. Another thing is school. For most people who have children, you need to think about schools. Is the area you are building have schools, and a better school for your kid, or a good school that a kid can attend to? You need to think about that. Don't just buy land because it's cheap or because of the location, because I've seen most people nowadays, they are buying land because the land is cheap, they like the location, and then they want to build, and then it hits them, I can't build here. Why? The schools are not there, the kids cannot go to school. Like for me, I had a land somewhere else that I wanted to really build, not the land that I've built, but then I realized that the land is in a very good location, by the way. The problem is school, and I have kids, so I could not build there. And luckily now my children are homeschooled, so I'm more flexible. And I wanted to build that land back in 2020, so I could not do it because of school. My children had not started school, and I had not thought about homeschooling. That came after. So now I'm flexible because my kids are homeschooled and whatnot. So if you want to start building and you have kids, and not even have kids, planning to have kids in future, so consider the schools that in the area. You can find that the area has schools but not good schools, or the best school that you want your kids to study in. So consider good schools. So the other thing is transport. Transport is very important. If you don't have a car, and even if you have a car and the roads are not transport worthy, I see lands very cheap, and this comes to people buying cheap lands because it's cheap, and then there are no roads, there are no means of transport, you cannot go anywhere, you move in, and then everything is chaos, everything is stress, you cannot access easy transport. Easy transport is very important even when you are building, because how will you build and the road is carrying your materials cannot get into a place? It will be chaotic. How will you build when there are no roads? It will be chaotic. So consider also transport, and then unexpected expenses. This hit me really hard because in jungle there are these things that you and your family will sit down and you calculate the quantity of materials you need, the quantity of whatever you need, and then there are these small expenses that they are not foreseen when you start building, like adding some more materials because something happened. Like for me, as I was saying, some darugo broke. I had not accounted for adding more darugos. Another thing, when we started building, I wanted to build a store. That came as an afterthought. I need a store or an SQ. We call it store, but people call it SQ, the one I'm living in. So I had to now recalculate again. I need more of this, more of this. So those are the expenses. And some things like nails. You bought some nails, zikaisha. And sometimes you find you bought some cement, but at the end they need like 2 more cement. You had not accounted for that. So those are some of the unexpected expenses that I'm talking about, like the transport costs. You may send someone to somewhere. That's the transport cost you have to pay. So you need to account for that. So my 6th point is I would protect my mental health. This is very, very important when you are starting building. Protect your mental health. Why? Most people comment about your house. For example, where I'm building, neighbors, even people we don't talk, people I've never spoken to, were giving me suggestions where to build on that land, where to place my house, where my house should be facing, and things like that. But if you're not protecting yourself, you will find yourself doing what they want. They want the house to face this side, but you want the house to face this side. So that peer pressure will make you do things you are not supposed to do. So protect yourself. Then stop comparing yourself to others. Somebody you may know might have started building and they finished their house fully and they went in. That's their pace. Use your pace. If you want it slow, step by step, go for that. Because if you start comparing yourself with others, sweat. You will sweat a lot. Building is not easy. Spending money that is not coming back is not easy. So you will have a lot of pressure. Stop comparing yourself to others. Just build pace yako. If you want to start with foundation first and then you take a breather, do that. Let the house go up and then you take a breather, do that. Put the iron sheet and then take a breather, do that. But go slowly. Use your pace. Usingangane na pace za wengine. Don't compare yourself with, because your friend built a house from scratch, akamaliza hadi finishes, akaingia akatengeneza housewarming party, amemaliza. Don't compare yourself with others. Go with your own pace. Usingangane na watu. Everybody has their own pace. Like for me, I've already made videos as I'm living in this house. That's what I wanted. I wanted to find peace first, and then I continue building and re-energize. Like now the house paused because I wanted to re-energize, refocus, and know what is more important and what is not more important. So another thing is feeling behind. That point is like comparing yourself to others, because you may feel like you are behind. Umeanza nyumba, it has stayed for 2 years, it's not yet done. Don't beat yourself up. You are doing good and you will finish it. That's why I'm saying take it slow na usingangane na watu wengine. So that's what I will do differently. I think my points are over. Yeah, that's what I will do differently. And plan for your house. Plan what you want. Like, plan what you want and build it up slowly. Don't rush building. Building is not easy. Please, building is not easy. Plan what you want and then start building slowly. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope I have helped some of you out there who want to build or are in a building journey. You can also share your experiences, some things that you have faced while building, of things that you are facing because you want to start building. You can share. We educate each other, we encourage each other, and help each other grow together. So thank you, guys. If you have not watched my previous videos, please go and watch them. Subscribe to this channel so that we can grow together and you will see the progress as we move on. Bye bye, and see you on my next video.